My creepy soccer coach crossed a line, so I accused him and told my parents. But they smeared my name and humiliated me online to protect him, so I cut them off for good. Until a month later, when they received an email about him that made them regret everything and beg for my forgiveness. When I told my parents what my abusive coach did, they told me to thank him for caring enough to do that to me. I've played soccer since I was 5. Not because I loved it, but because in my family you had to. Mom was all-state MVP. Dad played semi-pro. Even my little brother made varsity freshman year. So when I joined my high school team, they acted like my career path was already decided. But the thing was, I'm not very good. I've sat on the bench more than I've played. I tried to get good. I really did. But something about soccer just never clicked. Still, I kept going. Because while I hated how bad I felt on the field, I loved my teammates. They made me feel like I belonged. But there was one person who made everything 10 times worse. Coach Ryder. Now all coaches yelled. I get that. But this wasn't yelling. It was something else. The way he singled out girls during practice. The way his eyes lingered when we stretched. How he'd invite us to stay after practice for personal drills, then get sad and angry when we said no. At first, I thought maybe I was just being sensitive. So I didn't tell anyone, especially my parents. Besides, Coach Ryder was literally considered a legend. My dad literally told me once that if I listened to Coach Ryder and worked hard, he'd turn me into someone our family could be proud of. So yeah, telling them he made my skin crawl, not an option. The worse I played, the harder he pushed. He'd single me out during scrimmages, call me slow, dead weight, even a waste of jersey fabric. I told myself to toughen up. I pretended it didn't bother me, but it did. And then it got worse. A few weeks ago, I missed a goal during practice, and he snapped, "Jesus, Lindsay, you're a effing embarrassment. You should be grateful I even let you on this team. Maybe if you stayed after practice and worked on those lazy-ass thighs, you wouldn't suck so bad." Everyone heard it, but nobody even moved. I opened my mouth to speak, but my teammate Sam beat me to it. She turned to him, completely calm, and said, "You ever talk to her like that again? I'll rip your whistle off and shove it so far down your throat, we'll finally get some peace." Dead. Silence. Coach turned bright red. "Excuse me?" "No," Sam said. "You're not excused. You're not a coach. You're a creep with a clipboard." I couldn't breathe. I was staring at the ground trying to disappear when Coach yelled, "You're off the team, both of you. Get off my field." That's when something insane happened. The rest of the girls, they dropped their water bottles and walked toward me, one by one, standing in front of Sam and me like a wall. No one said a word, but I could feel it. I wasn't alone anymore. Even our goalie, quietest girl on the team, just looked at Coach and said, "Maybe we should talk to the school counselor about your private lesson obsession." Coach tried to backtrack, of course. Suddenly we were overreacting, but it was too late. We'd seen him for who he really was. Later that night, I told my parents what happened. I hoped they'd finally listen, but they didn't. "Are you sure you're not just being emotional?" my mom asked. My dad crossed his arms and muttered, "This is why people don't get better. One bit of tough love and they call it abuse." "I'm not calling it abuse," I said. "Sweetie," my mom cut me off. "We've known Coach Ryder for years. He's a professional. You just need to grow thicker skin." That's when I realized it didn't matter what I said. It didn't matter how scared I felt or how much he humiliated me. To them, he was a soccer god, and I was just the bench warmer who couldn't take a joke. The next morning, my dad told me I needed to apologize to Coach. "Think of the college scouts," he said. "You don't want to ruin your chances over some misunderstanding." I didn't say anything. I just went upstairs and sat on the floor of my room. I cried for the girl who tried so hard to be enough, who thought if she worked hard enough, her parents might finally be proud. But that girl is gone now, because today, after school, something changed. We had a team meeting without Coach. The principal had received multiple complaints. Apparently other girls had been collecting screenshots and messages for weeks. And now, there's an investigation. Coach Ryder's been suspended. When I got home, my dad was waiting in the kitchen, arms crossed. "You talked to the principal yet?" he asked. I nodded. "So, you gonna fix this mess or what?" I looked him dead in the eye, and for once, I didn't flinch. "No," I said. "I'm not fixing it, because it was never my mess." My mom gasped. "Lindsay, don't be dramatic." But I didn't wait for her to finish. I turned around, walked upstairs, and started packing a bag. I don't know where I'm going yet. All I know is, I'm done being the one who bends. If they want their perfect soccer daughter, they can go find her somewhere else. Last I heard, my parents took Coach Ryder in, and are demanding I come back home. Little did I know the surprise they had waiting for me. I didn't have a plan. I just knew I couldn't stay there anymore. I texted Sam, "Can I crash at your place tonight?" She replied immediately. "Already told my mom. She's making up the guest room." I waited until my parents were arguing in the living room.